By the time Halloween arrived, Harry was regretting his rash promise to go to the Death Day party. The rest of the school was happily anticipating their Halloween feast. The Great Hall had been decorated with the usual live bats. Hagrid's vast pumpkins had been carved into lanterns large enough for 3 men to sit in, and there were rumours that Dumbledore had booked a troupe of dancing skeletons for the entertainment. A promise is a promise, Hermione reminded Harry bossily. You said you'd go to the Death Day party. So, at 7 o'clock, Harry, Ron and Hermione walked straight past the doorway to the packed Great Hall, which was glittering invitingly with gold plates and candles, and directed their steps instead towards the dungeons. The passageway leading to nearly headless Nick's party had been lined with candles too, though the effect was far from cheerful. These were long, thin, jet-black tapers, all burning bright blue, casting a dim, ghostly light even over their own living faces. The temperature dropped with every step they took. As Harry shivered and drew his gropes tightly around him, he heard what sounded like 1,000 of fingernails scraping an enormous blackboard. Is that supposed to be music? Ron whispered. They turned the corner and saw nearly headless Nick standing at a doorway hung with black velvet drapes. My dear friends, he said mournfully, welcome, so pleased you could come. He swept off his plumed hat and bowed them inside. It was an incredible sight. The dungeon was full of hundreds of pearly white, translucent people, mostly drifting around a crowded dance floor, waltzing to the dreadful craving sound of 30 musical songs played by an orchestra on a black draped platform. A chandelier overhead blazed midnight blue with 1,000 or more black candles. Their breath rose in the mist before them. It was like stepping into a freezer. Shall we have a look around? Harry suggested, wanting to warm up his feet. Careful not to walk through anyone, said Ron nervously. And they set off around the edge of the dance floor. They passed a group of gloomy nuns, a red man wearing chains, and the fat friar, a cheerful Hufflepuff ghost, was talking to a knight with an arrow sticking out of his forehead. Harry wasn't surprised to see that the bloody Baron had gone staring. Slithering ghost, covered in silver bloodstains, were being given a wide berth by the other ghosts. Oh no, said Hermione, stopping abruptly. Turn back. I don't want to talk to moaning Myrtle. Who? Said Harry as they backtracked quickly. She haunts a toilet on the first floor, said Hermione. She haunts a toilet? Yes, it's been all out of order all year because she keeps having tantrums and flooding their place. I never went in there anyway, if I could avoid it. It's awful trying to go to the loo with her wailing at you. Look, food. On the other side of the dungeon was a long table, also covered in velvet. They approached it eagerly, but next moment and stopped in their tracks. Horrified, the smell was quite disgusting. Large rotten fish was laid on the handsome silver platters. Cakes burned charcoal black, a heap on salvers. There's a great maggoty haggis, a slab of cheese covered in fiery green nard, and in pride of place, an enormous grey cake in the shape of a tombstone, with tar like icing forming the words Sir Nicholas de Mincy Porpington died 31st October 1492. Harry watched amazed as a portly ghost approached the table, crouched low and walked through it, his mouth held so wide so that it passed through one of the stinking salmon. Can you taste it if you walk right through it? Harry asked him. Almost, said the ghost sadly, and he drifted away. I expect they let it rot to give it a stronger flavour, said Hermione knowledgeably, pinching her nose and leaning closer to look at the putrid haggis. Can we move? I feel sick, said Ron. They had barely turned around, however, when a little man swooped suddenly from under the table and came to halt in mid-air before them. Hello, Peeves, said Harry cautiously. Unlike the ghost around them, Peeves the Poltergeist is the reverse of pale or transparent. He was wearing a bright orangey party hat, a revolving bow tie, and a broad grin on his wide, wicked face. Nibbles, he said sweetly, offering them a bowl of peanuts covered in fungus. No thanks, said Hermione. Heard you talking about poor Myrtle, said Piers. His eyes were dancing rude views about poor Myrtle. He took a deep breath and bellowed, Oi, Myrtle! Oh no, Piers, don't tell what I said. She'll be really upset. Hermione whispered frantically. I didn't mean it. I don't mind her. Hello, Myrtle. Oh no, Peeves, don't know where is it? The squat ghost of a girl had glided over. She had the glamourous face Harry had ever seen, half hidden behind long hair and thick pearly spectacles. What? He said sulkily. How are you, Myrtle? Said Hermione in a foul-asleep bright voice. It's nice to see you out of the toilet. Myrtle sniffed. Miss Granger was just talking about you, said Piers slyly in Myrtle's ear. Just saying, how nice you look tonight, said Hermione, glaring at Piers. Myrtle eyed Hermione suspiciously. You're making fun of me, she said, silver tears welling rapidly in her small see-through eyes. No, honestly, didn't I just say how nice Myrtle's looking, said Hermione, nudging at Harry and Ron painfully in the ribs. Oh yeah, she did. Don't lie to me, said Myrtle, gasped, tears now flooding down her face while Peeves chuckled happily over her shoulder. Do you think I don't know what people call me behind my back? Fat Myrtle, ugly Myrtle, miserably moaning, mopping Myrtle. You've missed out, Spotty. You've missed out, Spotty. Peeves hissed in her ear. Moaning Myrtle burst into anguished sobs and fled from the dungeon. Peeves shot after her, pelting her with mouldy peanuts, yelling, "Spotty, Spotty!" Nearly Headless Nick was now drifted towards them through the crowd. "Enjoying yourselves?" "Oh, yes," they lied. "Not a bad turnout," said Nearly Headless Nick proudly. The Wailing Widow came all the way up from Kent. "It's nearly time for my speech. I'd better go and warn the orchestra." The orchestra, however, stopped playing at that very moment. They and everyone else in the dungeon fell silent, looking around in excitement. The hunting horn sounded. "Oh, here we go," said Nearly Headless Nick bitterly. Through the dungeon wall burst a dozen ghost horses, each ridden by a headless horseman. The assembly clapped wildly, and Harry started to clap too. I stopped quickly at the sight of Nick's face. The horses galloped into the middle of the dance floor and halted, rearing and plunging. A large ghost at the front, whose bearded head was under his arm, blew the horn, leaped down, lifted his head high in the air so he could see over the crowd. Everyone laughed and strode over to Nearly Headless Nick, squashing his head back onto his neck. "Nick," he roared, "how are you? Head still hanging in there?" He gave a hearty guffaw and clapped Nearly Headless Nick on the shoulder. "Welcome, Patrick," said Nick stiffly. "Live arms," said Sir Patrick, spotting Harry, Ron and Hermione and giving a huge fake jump of astonishment so that his head fell off again. The crowd howled with laughter. "Very amusing," said Nearly Headless Nick darkly. "Don't mind Nick," shouted Sir Patrick's head. "Don't mind Nick. Still upset we won't let him join the hunt. But I mean to say, look at the fellow." "I think," said Harry, oddly, and a meaningful look from Nick. "Nick's very frightened and Ha!" yelled Sir Patrick's head. "Betty asked you to say that. If I could have everyone's attention, it's time for my speech," said Nearly Headless Nick loudly, striding toward the podium and climbing into an icy blue spotlight. "My late lamented lords and gentlemen, it is my greatest sorrow, but nobody had heard much more. Sir Patrick and the rest of the headless hunt had just started a game of head hockey, and the crowd was turning to watch. Nearly Headless Nick tried vainly to recapture his audience, but gave up as Patrick's head went sailing past the large cheers. Harry was very cold by now, not to mention hungry. I can't stand much more of this. Let's go, Harry agreed. They backed towards the door, nodding and beaming at anyone who looked at them. And a minute later, passed back the passageway full of black handles. Pudding might not be finished yet, said Ron, hopefully. And then Harry heard it. Kill. It was the same voice, the same cold, murderous voice he had heard in Lockhort's office. He saw the heart clutching at the stone wall, listening with all his might. Listen! No, Harry, what you... It's that voice again. Shut up for a moment. So hung for so long. Listen, said Harry, eyes moving. Harry was sure it was moving away, moving upwards. A mixture of fear and excitement gripped him as he stared at the ceiling. How could it be moving upwards? Was it some phantom to whom stone ceiling didn't matter? This way! And he began to run. No good hoping to hear anything here. The babble of talk from the Halloween feast was echoing out of the marble staircase on the first floor. Harry, what are we? Shh! And then he heard the voice. I smell blood. I smell blood. His stomach lurched. It's going to kill someone. But Hermione had a sudden gasp, pointing down the corridor. Look, something shining on the wall ahead. They approached slowly, squinting through the darkness. Foot high where the words had been daubed between two windows, shimmering in the light cast by the flaming torches. The Chamber of Secrets. Had been opened. Enemies of the higher, beware. What's the thing hanging underneath? Said Ron, a slight quiver in his voice. What's that thing hanging underneath? Said Ron, a slight quiver in his voice. As they edged nearer, Harry almost slipped over. There was a large puddle of water on the floor. Ron and Hermione grabbed him, and they inched towards the message, eyes fixed on the dark shadow beneath it. Mrs. Norris, the caretaker's cat, was hanging by her tail from the torch bracket. She was stiff as a board, her eyes wide and staring. For a minute they didn't move. Let's get out of here. Trust me, they don't want to be here. But it was too late. A rumble, as though of distant thunder, told them that the feast had just ended. From either end of the corridor they stood came the hundreds of feet climbing the stairs, and the loud happy talk of well-fed people. Next moment, students were crashing into the passage from both ends. The chatter, the bustle, the noise died suddenly as the people in front spotted the hanging cat. Harry, Ron, and Hermione stood alone in the middle of the corridor as silence fell among the mass of students, pressing forward to see grisly light. Then someone shouted again through the quiet. Enemies of the higher, beware! You'll be next in the mud blood. It was Draco Malfoy. He had pushed at the front of the crowd, his cold eyes alive as usual. Bloodless face flushed as he grinned at the sight of the hanging immobile cat. But the end of chapter 8